Hey everybody, welcome to another Quarantine with CorinthTeens Daily Devo, where we spend a few minutes digging into God's Word and answering a question together. We're going to keep it going with our student leaders. Our friend Bree has prepared something really good for us today. So Bree, go ahead and take it away.
Hello friends, I'm Bree, and I want to talk to you today about this dude Jesus, and he's pretty cool if you've never heard of him, and also how he can influence people in general, but also like right now with all this crazy stuff going on, and us being stuck at home. So what a lot of us don't realize is we all influence, like everybody influences someone, usually in an unexpected way and for unexpected reasons, really. And I have found that you can shine a light even in the negatives and during the low parts of your life. Just being thankful and grateful for all the good parts really makes a difference to people. So Luke chapter 17, Jesus is going to heal some dudes with leprosy, starting in verse 11 of chapter 17. I don't know if I already said that, but I'm saying it again just in case, and don't mind my Bible. She's a little thick, but it's not her fault. Now on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border of Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men with leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." When he saw them, he said, "Go show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they were cleansed. One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And he was a Samaritan. Jesus asked, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner?" Then he said to him, "Rise and go, your faith has made you well." The coolest part of that story, to me, is one dude that was a foreigner, out of 10, came back to thank the man who had actually changed their lives, while the other 9 went to seek validation from people who had put them down their whole lives, and since they were suffering with their condition. And that's pretty cool to me, because despite suffering, this man knew that his life had been changed, and he went to go thank the man that changed his life, rather than going to show the people who really don't matter that much or even care for that fact. For that matter. I know how to use words. And I think you never really know how your story or how your things that you've gone through can impact another person or help them learn from it or grow or push them in a better direction or push them to Jesus, really. You never know who that story is going to resonate with and change their lives, or even change like little habits that they have. I don't know. Just any kind of change for the better is a great thing. 'Cause you don't have to have some kind of life-changing, like super crazy emotional story to impact someone. Like, sometimes it's just simple everyday things, or just trying to be happy even when times are bad, or things of that nature. For example, one time I was a freshman, and this was like the beginning of the year, so I'm just starting out high school. I don't really know that many people. I still really don't know that many people. Not a very social person, so again, that was another, anyway, that's besides the point. So I was in drama and we had to tell the story. It was like we had to write an essay and we had to get up and present the story to the class. And I told basically this summary story of my life, or like the crazy parts from it anyway, and about my mother's drug addiction, and how I moved in with my father and my stepmother, all great people, and how I had a hard time forgiving her, but whatever, there was more to the story. That's not really the point though. The point is, after I told that story, despite being embarrassed because everybody else for the most part, had a very fun story. Like, people were laughing, and that's like my favorite thing to do, is like make somebody laugh, and then I like did the opposite. But after I told that story, like, I was shocked really by, it wasn't a lot of people, but it was several different people came to me and told me similar things that were either going on in their lives or had happened in the past, and just how they also struggle with dealing with those things as well, and that it just opened up conversation that was important to have, and it formed some like different sort of relationships with people in school that you wouldn't really expect to find there. And I think that this quarantine, with all this crazy stuff going on and us being stuck in our houses, is really actually kind of a good thing. Like I know Luke has said before, it's giving us some time to reflect on ourselves and evaluate our relationship not only with people in our lives but also with God. And it's giving us an opportunity to open up and share our stories and be able to be more open about our relationship with God, because I know for me personally it's really silly. If you don't feel like this, don't let yourself feel like this. But like, it's hard going to school and being like, oh yeah, I like Jesus, God's pretty cool. Yeah, I go to church every Sunday, Wednesday because I love Jesus. Like, for me, I have a hard time telling people that because I don't want people to see me in a weird way. But honestly, it's kind of a good thing, and I've been like ashamed to admit that in front of people at school. And that is very silly. Don't do that. So I think being able to do that right now with people and have conversations about things and with people you don't expect, it's like now is the perfect time for that. And sharing our love for God and Jesus and talking about the impact he's had in your life is just as impactful for them, whether we know it or not. You guys stay safe. Make the best of being stuck at home, because I know it's a little bit miserable, but I think it's doing a little bit more good than we probably see.
Bree, that's really great stuff. Thank you so much for being intentional and deliberate with the way that you presented that thought for us. Guys, you heard her say it. Stories have the impact to change and influence people for the gospel. And so here's what I want you to do today. Answer the question, what's your story? Maybe take some time and journal it out. Write down your story so that whenever it is time to share it, you are ready to go. What is your story? I love you guys, and we'll see you next time.